If you have lived in Germany or visited there, you might know that going to a grocery store can be quite a bit of a different experience than what you can expect here in the US. And in this video, I'm gonna take you along on a virtual shopping trip in a German grocery store, and I'm gonna show you some of the very specific and unique products that you can buy in Germany. First of all, Germans go shopping with their own grocery bags. For many decades, grocery stores have charged people to get plastic shopping bags or canvas shopping bags, and so it is a really usual thing for Germans to just grab their baskets or whatever bags they have and go grocery shopping with them. And I have all my goodies in here that I'm going to show you in just a moment. What's also really neat is that many or most of the plastic and glass bottles you buy in German supermarkets are refund bottles, and Germans take that very seriously. When I was there visiting my family, we had a whole crate full of sparkling water, and not only are the bottles refund bottles, but also the crate. And every supermarket has a little station where you can basically just put the bottles in there, and then you feed them in there for as many bottles as you have, and at the end, when you're done, you press a little button and then you get a little piece of paper that shows you exactly how much money you can get, and then you get the refund at the register when you check out. And people really do this a lot. They take that very seriously, and I have tried to do that here in this country, and it was a whole different experience. Depending on the supermarket, you can also find a lot of bread rolls and breads. The prices are pretty good, considering that the quality of the bread over there is really good. And what also is really interesting, that many of the breads are actually rectangular rather than the round loaves that we often get here, the artisan sourdough loaves. Germans still eat a lot of fish. They used to eat fish traditionally on Fridays, that was fish day, but you can also find a lot of pickled fish, and I'm going to show you pretty soon how you can make your own pickled herring that is very traditional for a fish roll or Matjesbrötchen. Something else that's very unique for German grocery stores is that the eggs are not refrigerated. I heard that it has something to do with the Germans not actually washing and scrubbing the eggshells and sanitizing them, which when they come right out of the chicken, they have a coating around it, and since the Germans don't wash that off, you can actually store the eggs at room temperature. German salad dressings tend to be a lot less creamy and rich. They're mostly oil and vinegar based with lots of herbs in them, and a lot of Germans get their salad dressings pre-made in a little pouch, and then they just add some water or oil or vinegar, but it has all the spices in there. And I'm also going to make a video pretty soon about how you can make your own with a very distinct German taste to it. Chibo is one of the major coffee brands over there, and what I find really interesting is that Chibo is not only selling coffee, but also all sorts of other goodies such as clothes and household items and sportswear and anything for activities. And usually once those items sell out, they don't bring them back. And bigger grocery stores like Rewe or Edeka typically have a section there where you can buy Chibo products. In the baking aisle, you also find a lot of interesting additions, glazes, and flavorings and other additions for your baked goods that I'm going to show you in my basket because I actually got some. You can also buy a ready-made sourdough starter in a pouch, and if you can't go to Germany and get one there, check out my video that I'm linking below, in which I'm going to teach you how you can really easily make your own sourdough starter. Maggi and Knorr are two of the bigger companies that make all sorts of spices and flavorings and soup bases, but they also make all sorts of sauces and dressings that are ready made in a pouch, or you just add some liquid like milk or water, and then you can make an entire dish with them. And of course, unfortunately, those are fairly highly processed foods, but I am going to try to teach you how to make some of those more popular sauces. And of course, you can find lots of cabbages in jars like the kale, which would be the grünkohl, or the red cabbage, or even sauerkraut in various renditions. And not only can you find fish in the refrigerated section, but also lots of canned fish, which is a very typical addition to a traditional supper table in Germany. Sausages in glass jars, all sorts of really interesting barbecue sauces, creamy ones, tomato-based ones, and also, which I don't have, but the very typical curry sauce that is part of the currywurst, curry sausage, that I'm also gonna at some point make a video about how you can make your own. Zwieback is very German. Unfortunately, I didn't have my glasses on when I went shopping and took that photo. So I took a photo of a gluten-free Zwieback. Zwieback basically is a very white sandwich type of bread that is sliced and then baked again, so it's kind of crispy. It's more like a biscotti consistency, but it was always touted as, if you have a stomach upset, or if you've been sick and you haven't been eating for a while, Zwieback would be really good food to help your recovery from any illness, or let's say the flu. And then of course the varieties of potato chips are a little bit different. Sometimes you can find the kettle chip type potato chips in Germany, but they also have these Erdnusslocken, which are basically peanut puffs, if you will, and those were definitely part of my childhood when I was living there. And Leibniz cakes, that was definitely part of my childhood. They used to be pretty bland actually when you think about it, and since I was a kid they have expanded their repertoire. They've added chocolate to them and other flavorings. They made a whole wheat variety or whole grain variety and a regular variety, but Leibniz Butterkeks is definitely very German. Of course, Quark is so inexpensive, and you can find both the plain Quark for less than €1 for a little carton or a little tub. You can also get them with all sorts of herbs or interesting flavorings. So definitely let me know in the comments which kind of foods you are really interested in learning how to make your own, because what I'm going to show you and what I have shown you, oftentimes it's really easy to make your own, and what I showed you was a lot of convenience foods, but I think that making them on your own is a lot healthier. So let's see what I have in my shopping basket, some of which I actually did get in a German supermarket, and some of the items I got here. Good sources are either Amazon. You can find a lot of products on Amazon, and if you have a world market, they used to be called Cost Plus, they often carry a lot of German products. A lot of you have asked about prices. I kept my receipt, and you can see what some of those items cost that I got in Germany. But without further ado, let's see what I have in here. Knödel, which is basically potato dumplings. There are different varieties, and this is also a convenience food, but I will make a video pretty soon about how you can make your own potato dumplings. There's also bread dumplings. They are flour based, and these are potato based, but that's really a very traditional German food. Same for Spätzle. What is a good meat dish, braised meats without Spätzle, and you can even make Spätzle on your own with a really good yummy cheese sauce. And I do have a recipe how to make your own, but I will make another video about how to make a cheese sauce that you can have Spätzle on their own without any meat on the side. Something I always like to get when I'm in Germany is, I call that gelling sugar. It's basically for making jams. It has pectin in it, and this is a 2-for-1. So typically you need, let's say, a pound of fruit and a pound of sugar, and for this one you need only 1 pound of sugar for 2 pounds of fruit. This is why it's called 2-to-1. And they have all sorts of really good recipes. Sugar in Germany is typically made from sugar beets, whereas sugar in the US is made from sugar cane. And I find that a lot of recipes, even if I take a German recipe and I make it here in the States or vice versa, it comes out a little bit differently because the cane sugar behaves slightly different than the beet sugar. And this is from Nordzucker, which means that it is from northern Germany, and they also have a company called Südzucker. Something else that's very German is Nockergrieß. That's more of a southern German specialty. And you make these, you basically take semolina flour, you mix it with some liquid, and then you end up with these little semolina dumplings that you can add to soups. And this one is made from spelt, but you can also, the same semolina, you can make a sweet dessert type of dish, and this was definitely part of my childhood. Grießbrei, really easy to make, really yummy. You just add some fruit or compote to it, and it's really good, and I'm gonna make another video about that too. Maybe you have heard, or maybe you have not heard about Graupen. They are also part of a soup, Graupensuppe, and this is made from barley. I think Gerste is barley. If I'm mistaken, and I'm going to edit the video, I'm going to tell you exactly what this is, but I think barley is Gerste. Blattgelatine is very popular, and basically it comes in sheets, gelatin sheets. You soak them in a cold liquid, and then you add them to something hot, or you heat them up, and then they become really liquid and soft, and then you add them to whatever dish you want. And once it cools down, it will actually have the gelatin effect and stiffen up a little bit. And then here I have Quarkwein, which is more of a recent, I want to say maybe in the last couple or 3 decades. And this is something that you add to your quark, and it makes another really popular dessert. And this one is just a vanilla variety, but you can get strawberry and other fruits. I'm really excited about Rote Grütze, which is basically you take all sorts of red fruits like red currants and cherries and strawberries, and you add this, and then it's not really stiff like a jelly, but it is somewhere between really runny and really stiff, and you just have to trust me, this is really good. And this can be either served on its own as a dessert, or with something like the Grießbrei or Milchreis, for example. Sahnesteif, if you want to whip cream and you want it to last for a long time and stay whipped instead of becoming runny again, people add Sahnesteif to their whipped cream, and then they can put a little bowl of whipped cream on the coffee table, and people can take it and it's not going to get runny. Here is a vanilla pudding. I mean, I don't know if that's so specifically unique German, but Dr. Oetker definitely is, so I thought that this would be interesting to show you guys. But here's also Dr. Oetker. These are rum flavorings. This is something that's very traditional, and obviously this is a synthetic flavor. It's not a natural flavor, but you add that to, let's say, a hazelnut cake or a rum cake, and it gives it a really deep rum flavor. If you add fresh rum to it before you bake the dough, before you bake the cake, then typically the flavor kind of evaporates, and these synthetic flavors don't. There's also vanilla flavors and butter flavors and lemon flavors. So this is also something you would definitely find in the baking aisle. This is the fish tin I was talking about. This is a tomato sauce. What's also really popular is mustard sauce or other creamy sauces, sometimes with herbs. And this is something that Germans typically eat for supper on open-faced sandwiches. And I'm going to make another video sometime soon about how to make a typical German supper. My husband always gets a kick out of mustard in tubes and I had to look twice because they also have mayonnaise in tubes, and these two look really similar. So the first time I went there, I grabbed the wrong thing. And this is a really spicy mustard, Löwensenf, which a lot of Germans love. It's a lot hotter and spicier than your regular Dijon mustard, for example, or most of the typical American mustards are pretty mild. This is the salad dressing that I was talking about, and I'm pretty excited because we're gonna have some salad tonight and I'm gonna put this dressing on it. Of course, most of the ingredients you can make your own salad dressing, and again, I'm gonna teach you pretty soon how you can make your own that tastes just like a German salad. And this is a Tortenguss. It's basically a cake glaze. You can get that in transparent or in red, depending on what kind of fruit you're using. For peaches, you would probably use transparent, and for strawberries or cherries, you would probably use the red. You can easily make your own, and I do have a recipe that I'm linking below in which I'm gonna explain to you how to make this, but sometimes it's just so much easier to grab a little package and add some liquid and follow the directions on the package. I hope you found this interesting. Definitely let me know in the comments which foods you're really excited about to learn more about, or how to make your own. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.